What's happening? I promised you all an update to my Giulio Cesare review, because we all knew it was getting nerfed. It was inevitable. I mean, the ship was just too good with its phenomenal dispersion. The thing shot lasers and a pinpoint, tight, accurate shot group that just absolutely obliterated cruisers. It was a little unfair, so... My last review, I gave the ship an 8.8 out of 10. It was a lot of fun. It was enjoyable. The weapons were great. I was able to handle the ship when up-tiered in Tier 7 battles, and all good things come to an end eventually, right? And with wargaming, the big fear is always when something gets nerfed, we worry that they go to the extreme in the opposite direction. So it's very important to take a look at the Cesare again and make sure it's still a viable ship. I know a lot of people wanted the ship kept as is. I know a lot of people said the ship should have been moved to Tier 6. Neither of those things have happened. The ship has been nerfed a slight bit. First and foremost, I've got some great news. The ship is still really enjoyable. It's still a lot of fun to play. I don't think the nerfs hit it significantly. I don't think they did that classic knee-jerk reaction, taking it in a complete 180. It's still a very viable and fun battleship. So let's look over the reviews again. Looks have stayed the same. She's still the same sleek and sexy Cesare that we all know and love. That has not changed. It's not gonna change. It's still the best looking ship in Tier 5, hands down. Now, here's the big change. This is what got nerfed. Weapons. Before, in my prior review, I gave it a 10. That's right, a 10 out of 10. Its weapons were just about as good as it could get for a Tier 5 ship. The HE was phenomenal. It set fires left and right like a conqueror. The AP, well, it deleted cruisers. I mean, it was sick. It was nasty. Again, that pinpoint, tight dispersion. Of course, that's been changed now. In this new Cesare 2.0, the dispersion, well, it's not as good as it was before, but that's not a bad thing. I don't think it's a bad thing at all. You're going to find now that the horizontal dispersion on the Cesare is not what it was before. The dispersion's a lot wider, so you don't get that very tight shot group that you had before, and I also feel like the shots float a little more as well. You don't get the laser arc that you had before. This might be my own imagination, but I felt like when I was playing, I wasn't leading the ships quite enough as I had in the prior version of the Cesare. So, horizontal dispersion, not as good as it was before, and because of that, I'm giving the weapons an 8 out of 10. Now, is that bad? Not at all. Still got great guns. You're still going to do perfectly fine up close with cruisers, though I did find myself having to get a lot closer than I used to. What I used to be able to do at 14 kilometers, I can no longer do at 14 kilometers. I got to find myself getting in closer to the 10 to 12 kilometer range against cruisers. That is the biggest thing you need to know about the Cesare at this point. You gotta get a little bit closer. That's okay though, because you've still got really good concealment. The other thing about the weapons is the HE is not as good as it was before. I didn't feel like I was starting fires quite as much as I was, but this could be my imagination. Moving on, durability has remained the same. You're still very squishy. If you are targeted by multiple battleships, you need to play this ship cautiously sometimes, but we knew that from before. Handling, the ship still handles great. It's fast, it's got great turning for a battleship, and this brings us to the fun factor. Overall fun factor has not diminished that much, not that much at all. I give it a 9 out of 10, only because I know people absolutely love to play battleships sometimes just for seal clubbing purposes, and it's not quite the seal clubber it was before. So your biggest changes are within the weapons, and that's about it. Your HE and your dispersion, not quite as good as it was before. I agree with these changes though, wholeheartedly. The ship was just a little too much in its former state. However, in its current state, I think they have found the happy medium. I don't think the average player is going to be able to go out there and do quite as well as they could have before. Really, I think this ship is equalized. I would still say it's above average. I would say it's a lot of fun still. I would say it's no longer overpowered. I think the changes suit the ship well. It's still very good, and I still think that a battleship player that knows what they're doing is still going to do awesome in this ship. Again, here is your look at Giulio Cesare version 2.0. The weapons, not as good as it was before. Not completely fun as it was before, but I'm not going to knock that down that much. You know, everybody loves having fun in a seal clubber. This is no longer a straight up seal clubber, though it is still very, very good. I mean, it's a tier 5 that I think a lot of people are going to want. I think this ship is definitely buyable. I don't think the changes and the nerfs to it are that significant that it should dissuade you from purchasing it. Of course, it's all price dependent too. Hopefully it's at a good price point, but overall, the Giulio Cesare 2.0 is a lot of fun. It offers a lot. Great concealment. Dispersion, not quite as good as it used to be, but the ship is still very, very powerful. It's still good. It looks great, and I think it's a lot of fun. So take that for what it's worth, but the nerf bat did not hit it too hard. Anyhow, guys, thanks for watching. I am out.